Harper threw the apartment key in my face, saying I wasn't ambitious enough for her. I didn't say a word in return. 2 weeks later, her younger brother was kicked out of his dorm over an $85,000 debt that Harper herself had signed to guarantee. "Nalen," Harper said, smiling pityingly as she slid the apartment key across the marble countertop. "You're a good guy, but I need a man with ambition. Thank you for our time together, but we are in two different worlds." I looked silently at the cold key, then shifted my gaze to the brand new designer handbag resting on the chair, a gift from the finance director she had been secretly seeing for the past 2 months. Harper stood up, smoothing out the creases in her dress. She was certain that walking out this door would leave me with a broken heart and a tangled mess of emotions. But she had forgotten one fatal detail. I am not just the ex-boyfriend. Legally speaking, I am her family's bank. 3 years ago, when Harper's younger brother, Connor, received his acceptance letter from Boston University, their family fell into a crisis. Her parents didn't have a high enough credit score for a student loan, and Connor himself had no collateral. At that time, I stepped up. I didn't choose to co-sign a bank loan, as that brought too many pointless risks. Instead, I withdrew $85,000 from my personal investment fund to pay Connor's tuition directly. I am a businessman in Chicago. I never let money leave my pocket without legal paperwork. I required Connor to sign a promissory note, with Harper as the payment guarantor. In it was a standard clause that Harper once mockingly called the extreme overcaution of a control freak, the payable on demand clause. That clause stated very clearly, I have the right to recall the entire principal and interest at any time, requiring only a 30-day notice. When signing that paper, Harper kissed me on the cheek and said, "Oh please, you're always overdoing it. We're about to be family anyway." Sometimes, during sleepless nights, I asked myself if I had lent the money out of pure altruism or out of a selfish craving. My parents divorced early and I grew up in coldness. So when Harper's mother hugged me crying and called me son, I desperately craved to hold onto that feeling. I lied to myself that the contract was just standard business procedure. But deep down, maybe I had secretly used it as a ticket, a chain to buy my place in a family I never had. 2 years passed. That chain didn't hold love, it only nurtured entitlement. Harper began to change. She criticized the restaurants I chose as lacking class, comparing me to showy men on social media. A year ago, she even refused to go on a Thanksgiving vacation with me, claiming she needed personal space. Yet my credit card was still charged at an expensive resort. I turned a blind eye, hoping patience would be exchanged for connection. I was wrong, and now we are no longer family. Monday morning, 48 hours after Harper moved her stuff to her new boyfriend's penthouse, I casually brewed a cup of coffee. I opened my computer, accessed my legal documents folder, located the contract with Connor's digital signature, and composed an email to my representing lawyer. Activate the debt recall clause. Send certified mail to Connor and Harper. But my finger paused on the mouse. I stared at the send button. Connor is only 21. I recalled the sight of him excitedly showing off the baseball jacket I bought him last year. Would it be too cruel to destroy a kid's future just because of his sister's mistakes? I sighed, picked up my phone, intending to call the lawyer to cancel the recall order and find a more peaceful solution. But when I opened my phone, Connor's Instagram caught my eye. He had just posted a photo celebrating a vacation at a Michelin-starred restaurant 3 weeks ago. I zoomed in on the photo. In the background corner, reflected in the restaurant's mirror, Harper was sitting right next to, smiling radiantly and linking arms with the finance director. Connor knew. Their whole family knew Harper had been deceiving me for the past 2 months. They happily had dinner with their sister's lover, complicit in hiding that betrayal, while still letting me regularly pay his living expenses and tuition. The pity inside me extinguished completely. I put the phone down and clicked the mouse. The order was sent. My life continued on while the countdown clock for Harper's family officially began. 2 weeks passed. Harper was enjoying an afternoon at a downtown spa when her phone vibrated violently. It was Connor. "What the hell are you doing?" Connor's voice screamed through the phone, choked with panic. "My student account is locked. I can't register for my final semester classes and the financial office says I have a credit freeze." "What are you talking about? Calm down," Harper frowned, sitting up straight. "A letter from a law firm. They're demanding I pay the entire $85,000 plus interest within the next 14 days. If not, they're taking this to court, seizing my transcripts and deducting it straight from my salary for the next 10 years. How exactly did you break up with Nolan?" The smugness on Harper's face evaporated instantly. A chill ran down her spine. She had thought the money was a gift that came with love. She never thought I would actually use the piece of paper she once mocked. The next morning, Harper stormed straight into my office. Stripped of the pride from the day she returned the key, her face was now pale, her makeup smudged with anger. "You're despicable." Harper slammed the legal notice down on my desk. "You're going to ruin a kid's future just because I dumped you. Are you this pathetic?" I didn't flinch. I calmly capped my fountain pen, looking up at her. "Connor is 21 years old. He is an adult and signed a legally binding financial contract," I said, my voice as steady as if discussing the weather. "We used to love each other. You said you would take care of him." Harper raised her voice, trying to use the emotional weapon that had helped her manipulate me in the past. "I did take care of him. I loaned him an amount of money that no bank in America would dare to." I tilted my head. "And back then you were my family. But last week you reevaluated this relationship yourself. You said we were in two different worlds. You were right. In your world feelings are disposable, but in my world contracts must be enforced." My words were like a bucket of cold water thrown straight at Harper. Her shell of pride shattered. Suddenly, she changed tactics. Harper hurried forward, gripping the edge of my desk tightly with both hands, her voice breaking into sobs. "Nolan, please." She begged, tears welling up. "I was wrong. I wronged you, I deceived you. But please don't punish Connor for my stupidity. He's about to graduate, he has his whole future ahead of him. You can scold and curse me however you want. I can get a part-time job, I'll pay you back in installments, a little bit each month." I looked at the tears rolling down her expensive makeup, feeling a deep sense of irony. "How?" I asked in return. "With the salary of a lowly admin clerk or with your boyfriend's credit card?" Harper froze, her lips trembling. "The finance director of a venture capital fund, I know." I tapped my finger lightly on the desk. "Then that's great. You can just take this $85,000 bill home and ask him to pay it. I'm sure a man with ambition like him will be more than willing to pay off a debt for the younger brother of a girlfriend he's only known for 2 months. Harper was stunned. She couldn't make another sound. She knew the truth clearly. Her new boyfriend was willing to buy her a designer bag to show off, but he would never sign a 6-figure check to shoulder a debt that fell out of the sky. "If this money is not in my account by 5 p.m. on the 14th of next month," I concluded the conversation, "my lawyer will file a lawsuit against Connor in court. His credit history will be destroyed before he even has a chance to graduate. And since you are the guarantor, your name will be on that record too." Harper took a step back, her eyes darting around in invisible despair. All the power she thought she had when initiating the breakup was completely crushed by a piece of paper in black and white. She had tried to step over me to reach a higher-class life, without realizing she had just handed her entire family's financial lifeline into the hands of the very man she had callously trampled on. The office door closed heavily behind Harper. Silence enveloped the room, leaving only the faint hum of the air conditioner. I sat alone, but I didn't feel the overwhelming gloating I had once imagined. I reached out, picked up the coffee cup on the desk, and took a sip. It was cold and bitter. I stared at the digital contract on the screen, realizing a bitter truth. I hadn't just reclaimed $85,000. I had also single-handedly shattered the illusion of a family that I had once yearned to belong to. A hollow feeling welled up in my chest, but I knew I had no regrets. I closed my laptop, pushed the cold cup aside, and started working on the next set of files.